view modeling tutorial. It can apply to both TF2 and Half-Life 2, but I want to concentrate, I guess, on Half-Life 2. And I haven't gotten my mod working, which I'm going to probably have to do for like half an hour during this. But let's say we started out with this. Previous videos, I showed how to do it, how to get to this point. But, okay, still have to explain a lot of things here. Like root bone, weapon bone, because it's like technically when it looks into the SMD, it will be like rooted on the root bone. Sorry, I've been working on GCFscape. Yeah, Google Pronobuff gRPC porting stuff or installing stuff that I have no clue about. But all right, so we had this really funny setup. I get sent like, this happened before, I get sent like a model animations, and then stuff's just like there, but it's kind of, let me see what these animations are. I didn't even look at what these animations do because I was like, stuff's broken. How is this ever going to work? And what would happen if I imported those animations? So you'll get like stuff like this sometimes. We're near the animator, or whatever you're doing to your mod, your in-game Gmod or Workshop TF2 or Portal 2 or Alien Swarm or Left 4 Dead or Day of Defeat, all kinds of source mods out there. Go on to Game Banana and just start like downloading stuff for no reason. Alright, so like I imported those bones. I just want to see what they do. How would I do that? How would I even see them? Oh, there they are. So I guess those are head and tail. I don't know if those are even connected. Armature draw. Let's see what they attempted to do here. Okay. So it looks view model-ish, I guess. This draw, he draws the weapon. I'm guessing this is from the other engine. Somehow I like can use my intuition. Let's see. Let's load Alliance Allegiance engine. It should be called the Flux engine. I would like to try this in Flux engine and some of the other engines that I've been finding. I got to try more engines while I start getting other source mods working. Wow, that's a lot of bones per one skin model. Support up to 4 texture channels. That's pretty cool. Object IDs and type names used by RPCs and replication are now optimized to 32-bit keys. Quadraturnians using quantization cuts average transfer rate by 56%. Oh, these are interesting features, actually. I want to watch all this through later. I'm working on stuff like this, and I kind of want to be able to like sit there and like make a little menu, and just like have the player choose in server settings like how much of that he wants to support. Because you could make your own renderer and like make everything render on one shader and really make it optimized. But a lot of engines don't do all this because it's crazy. Alright, so another animation that kind of just leads you to nowhere. So what we have to do, let's load another animation. USB hub detected. Yeah, Camo Studio is like busy detecting my hardware and spying on me than actually working. I find it that with Camo Studio, I'm using iPhone and I don't like to plug it in while I could plug it into the computer and use the USB. That's probably going to be my only safe bet. And then just print out another camera stand. That's what I kind of did. I had like 4 camera stands, phone stands. And I made the phones as like cameras, and iPhone's camera is good, and so is a few like high-end Android devices, but most of my Android devices are not that high-end. And then let's just import another animation. We're saving at least screen space here, not seeing my face. And I'm eating pizzas, so it's kind of makes sense. It's like, oh, you know what I want? I want a pizza today. Okay. So what I was sent was these animations. Detonate, draw to, fire has 3 kilobytes, holster. I would like to do detonate, but let's do holster first. It seems more industrially productive. Okay, where's our bones? So we can kind of... Alright, so that's holster. Yeah, so he puts it down. Some kind of basic, not really too much difference than I would... Okay, so let's try to do this. Let's try to make holster or something. Where do I start? Okay, yes. So I select the bones. Can I do it like this? Object mode. Let's just select the object and then the bones. Okay, yeah. Go to pose mode. Press K to get a keyframe. Now let's actually select all of them. K them. Because that will create keys for all the bones. And then we're going to use one bone. So move this to 20 frames. Press R. I want it to say G. Okay, let's do that. K it, so we save it, and then press G to move it down. Press K again. Alright. I believe that there's an issue here, though. This one, I think, is not the right reference. Like, it's not in the right place initially. So we'll see what happens here. I still gotta boot up everything, but that's part of the tutorial. It's how I actually... That'll reset it because I didn't press K. Put it here, press K. Move it down just a little bit with G. Press K. And then... Yeah. And at 60, press R. No, press R and X. Yeah. And G. Okay. So what we got is, that'll be our holster. What I want to do next is go to this animation thing. And I want to say just like slam on the keyboard and get it really mad. Oh no, we're right here. Same difference. Okay, so we want to name this idle01 stop to holster. I want to name it holster 1, but I'll just name it holster. Where are we exporting this? We should start a new folder just to have a clean slate. Clean slates help a lot. They help improve the quality of the work and eradicate the hoarding mindset. There's a lot of good things. Like you keep wanting to save work, but sometimes it's just better to just... So we'll create a new folder. We'll call it... Yeah, and so out of this one thing, I've been able to already create, I don't know how many, more than 6 folders. But once your perfection is down, you'll still create 6 folders. Alright, so we created this folder. We're going to export into this folder. Is this what we were doing? Which one was it? Oh, I think it's this one, right? Why doesn't it play? It had this problem last time. I hope I didn't screw up my Blender settings. Oh, let's put it in object mode, then hit play. Nope, I screwed something up. Whatever, okay. We'll save this as, in our new folder, as grenade launcher holster. I just want to save it as holster, but since it'll make it confusing when looking at recent files. Alright, save that. The other problem with this model is it's better to do the texture first and the topology. Like, it's typologically trash. Because, like, it would be nice to actually do things nicer. Like, make this thing move. Jiggle bones, something like these rings. Make this move or get it so it could be a weapon part. I wanted to do vertex animation on this thinger part thing. Alright, so once we export that, save it, we need to export it. You have to have Source SDK tools installed, enabled. Be patient to export past that. Set it to SMD. Hit export. Export 2 scene files. See what we get. Alright, I already have like 3 files in here. We're doing a lot. So we got holster. Now we need to set up our QC file again. This is always fun. Sometimes I just like make a text document and then rename it. How do you spell grenade? Don't want to name it that, but I will. Just to give it some other flavor. Alright, so then we just copy some other QC file, like from an older folder. We could go copy the HL2. Last time I decompiled shotgun, and before that it was SMG, so let's like decompile something else, just for fun. We will decompile the shotgun SMG. We'll clone this, put HL2 MP of Source SDK multiplayer. We're gonna need to like do stuff. Okay, that's where it's gonna decompile to. Okay, we got the decompile folder set. We just need to like go find something. Let's go find in models, weapons, and HL2 after we extracted with GCF escape into this folder of like repository of repositories. Shotgun SMG with super cannon. Well, it's not close enough. We could decompile with Alex gun, but we don't have a view model for it, I think. We need a view model. We can't use a W model. Stun baton, pistol, physics cannon. W rifle. Let's try W rifle. There is also crossbow. Maybe next time. Or if W rifle seems to be too unrelated, we'll compile and decompile that. There's like sometimes assets that are pre-made. I remember I was like trying to do that off of GitHub. But generally, you just recycle like this. I call this recycling also. I used to not call it recycling. I used to call it like reference to the main thing of life. All right, so if we open this folder, we should open another tab, another File Explorer window. File Explorer windows are our friend and our enemy because they lag the computer, but they get us there faster. So they have this iRifle reference in its animations, and it particularly has too many animations. Okay. So we'll have this file, and we'll want to have like multiple tabs open. Multiple windows, actually, not even tabs. This is our start. It doesn't really have anything in it. So what we'll call this is model name, weapons, mod weapons. We'll call this V grenade launcher. Launcher, cool. And then this will probably have like a bunch of other cool ones, like cool 2, cool 3, and cool 4, because we'll be working on it and testing the differences probably. All right, so we need the reference next. The reference is basically your main model that it kind of has all the triangles in it. Some people find that hard to believe or hard to fathom or imagine. So imagine it just being the where all the materials and polygons and main bones are. So next we have to give it some properties that like Source kind of does. Surface prop is like it's a metal or something, or wood. We'll just put default because it's like a view model. It doesn't really matter too much. Contents solid. I don't know why that's there, but we'll just put that. Illumination position is kind of like where the light is coming from to simulate for the shader, which just basically means it gives it some sort of better look. CD materials V-hand, that's only for the hands, and then where the weapons materials are going to be, which is, we're going to define our old folder, but we're going to keep these two around for reference that if somebody wanted to add hands, they would have this on hand in this QC file. But once you compile it, this will disappear. So this will be weapons, mod weapons, because this is going to be in the materials folder. So imagine that this is the mod folder, then it'll be materials, then it'll be models, and then it's going to be weapons. This is the more the more accurate reference. But it doesn't, it assumes that there's a model in front of it. Okay, so muzzle, base attach, rotate, blah, blah, blah. I guess the muzzle is not rotated right or something, so they rotated by 90 and added 20. I don't know why. We would have to look at the actual model to figure that out. So on this one, the bone for this, what is this bone called? This is called bone 1 underscore muzzle. Base, I guess the bone here is called base. Yeah, so they've just rigged it to the main bone. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to the bone that we have. And that's going to be like, there's not going to be an offset. And I don't think there's even going to be a rotation, but we have to figure that out later in game when we test it. But first we're going to test it maybe in MDL Studio, and maybe inside the Blender. It's better to test it in Blender than in MDL Studio, but that's only for one animation. And then for multiple animations, it's MDL. It's Half-Life Model Viewer, I mean, not MDL Studio. What am I talking about? Okay, so now we need the bone name. How do we know the bone name? We go in here, open the reference model. You could also open the animation model if we don't feel like opening this big file. We'll just copy this. I hope like everything's right. Things could be wrong already. So that'll make an attachment called muzzle off of muzzle bone with 0 difference offsets. C-box, we'll just add that just for whatever. We could not add a bounding box. We may have to modify this and fix this later. Okay, and then define all the bones. So what I like to do when they do that is like take these values and define them off of this. Then take the names because I don't know why there's two things, but it looks like it attaches, it sub-attaches from one defined bone to the other based on this defined bone structure. Okay. So base in our case will be 0, which will be called root. Sometimes it's called, yeah, a lot of bones do have this root bone being called root, which makes it like hard to explain a little bit. Alright, so the next bone will be bone weapon bone, which will be from root. We used our own offsets, we didn't use theirs. Just taking note of that. Okay, define bone and then define bone. Because we know we have 4 bones. We have to like be able to count, but it kind of counts for us. And then muscle bone will be off of, oh wait, what is it off of? What is muzzle bone off of? Gotta go check in Blender. I don't think it's off root, it's off weapon bone. Yeah, it is off weapon bone. And then eject is off of muzzle bone, which is kind of funny, but it's kind of incorrect. You can make it the other way, you could fix it to be the other way. But if in some cases it doesn't matter when they don't move against each other. Because when weapon bone moves, those move with it, so it works correctly. So muzzle bone will be the parent of eject bone. Okay, so we're kind of done with the bone defines. Those are kind of important. Like you get like really weird stuff not working when you don't do those. All right, pose parameter vent presses. I don't know how they did pose animation in this one, but it looks cool that they did. So let's see. Uh-oh, I'm getting that error. Uh-oh, I'm getting the other error. That's interesting. Okay. So we have to just fix Source SDK here for a second, do a little bit of Source SDK hacking. I think I broke my hammer too, but I know how to fix it. Or I hope I do. Once I remember that I broke it, and then not remember how to fix it. It's always like not good. And it's good, because then I learn how to fix it again. And try to make tutorials and then go to sleep before I can. Wasting time on nothing but stupid like technical errors. Okay. So something is loading, I guess. It's like Source SDK lagging. I'm just wondering which folder I have to like throw this into for this to work. Alright, so it's not going to work with our TF2 model, which I kind of set up like really hacky. Did some sort of convoluted. Alright, mod HL2MP or Crime Wars test K. Where am I going to throw this into? I think I have to use mod HL2MP in my case, which is like the HL2MP mod. We're right on C. It should be nice to load Hammer into it too while we test this. Because you could also use the Hammer model viewer. And it might be this one that we're referencing here. Let's double check. Edit game configurations. I bet you HL2 model viewer is not working yet. Yeah, it doesn't have one pointed to it. Oh, you see what it did? Oh my god, that's so bad. But okay. We know that it's like detecting something once we did that. Okay, so it is the mod HL2MP in source. Because you could also work right out of the other directory, but the reason that we kind of need this is to have Half-Life Model Viewer running is because Half-Life Model Viewer makes our lives like faster. You could look at the animations inside of Hammer too, but it's almost the same. It's almost more difficult, more difficult than Half-Life Model Viewer to set up. Alright, so we know we have this here. I don't know what binaries are in there, but I could throw some binaries in there if I need to, I think. Let's look at game info for a second here. Okay, so we know it's the zombie entity mod. Okay. I want to see if I can compile that too. So I kind of got things working in terms of the TF2, but then I start breaking the Half-Life 2 mod stuff. Alright, so that compiles. And then I don't have like the same source code in this one as I did before. Yeah, I don't. It's just blank. Which is kind of good for testing purposes and kind of stupid because I wanted to test some of my stuff. Alright, so it's blank. So we could actually add the weapon here. Which I don't like the TF2, I mean the Half-Life 2 style of coding. I prefer SDK style. It's this other style in 2007 that was out. That was like my style. I got really used to it and I loved it. And then now we got to switch to like TF2 style, I guess. Which is good too in its own ways. It has more of the template attribute system behind it, which makes it easier for certain things and makes it a lot harder for certain other things. Alright, so yeah, spaghetti-ish Half-Life 2 code. It's kind of spaghetti-ish class. It's like classical something code. Alright, so we know it's this mod. So I have my mod set up. Okay, let's see if Half-Life Model Viewer spawns. Alright, it spawns. Okay, so we can't go into weapons because we have no custom weapons in there. Once we compile a model, and while we're at it with this, having this folder open, let's copy paste this folder into Crowbar. I know you can use other tools to compile this or compile this command line, but we're using Crowbar because I want to force people into submission of shoving things down there. Never mind. No, it's just because simplicity. Okay, so we put this, it's because I know how to explain it like this. Okay, so don't worry about game executable. The main thing is Studio MDL. That's what's going to be doing all our work here. I don't know about all these other features except for decompile and compile. I guess there's like a preview feature. I don't know what this does, but it like does something. I should actually figure out all these features, but I'm like writing my own little source tools here and there. I just have to get like VTF files loaded, and I think I need to use VTF lib, or at least get the source code for it and just look at it. So what would this do? Like, does this actually preview models? Let's open this. I don't care what it is. Oh, cool. So it shows you like a breakdown. What would view do? model viewer opened? Where? Alright, so it opened it. Okay. That model needs a lot of work. Alright. So we got to compile. What we have to do is finish up this file first. Will it compile just like this? It might. It honestly might. So we copy paste into keyc input, our keyc file. Grenade launcher, cool. Grenade underscore launcher underscore cool dot keyc. I hit compile just to see what kind of ridiculous, unique errors we get, which we might not, but who cares? We still need to fix the entire file. We still have a lot to go. Actually, no. Actually, I wanted to load a Q rifle. That's how all this started. So now we have this thing called animation. We have to ignore these animation things. And we have sequence because we were really worried about animations of the weapon. And generally, a sequence is a view model animation that's being called. Now, an animation tag, a $ animation tag, is really a blending animation. And the post parameter controls the amount blend animations affect each other. So they allow for like the top of the player to move sideways, to look sideways while the legs are still facing forward. Or imagine the same thing for like a tank, or the hull, or the top little cannon part, and the body of the tank like move in different directions. Or one moves and the other like rotates around its center of attachment axis, pivot point, or whatever you call it. Okay, so that's what these animations are for. And they also have, I think, something to do with controlling where that pivot point is, depending on how you're doing multiple animations at different offsets of the model. So we kind of don't need to worry about all that. It'd be nice to get into that and use some of that. I was trying to do vertex animation, but I guess Source 1 doesn't really support it unless compiled in like a own model viewer and not even use any of this. But what we're worried about is sequence. So we're going to take sequence idle. We're going to need to make sequence idle. And then we're going to need to make sequence holster. Why are we going to paste the holster one? Because it's got activity VM holster already in it. So we kind of... So I think our animations folder is just AMS. And our holster is already called holsters. So that takes care of that. Now the idle animation we don't have yet. We literally should have worked on idle animation first. So let's comment this out, because we only need like one animation really. Let's see what this said when we compiled it with no animation. It didn't compile or what? Okay, so what happened here? Compiling with crowbar, folder plus subfolder is finished. It's compiling the folder. Oh, it screwed me. That's what happened. It like pasted stuff in there. Maybe I did and I didn't notice, but I don't know how that happened. I don't want to watch the stream over to figure that out, but we'll just go into our folder, HLC's content, and put the folder that we made for our project. Compile that. Alright, so we compiled it. It's called could not load file. IR idle. Why we can't load that file? Because I didn't save it, right? It's trying to load this file. That'll happen a lot. Okay. Working. Okay. So we got it pumping the model or cooking the model. Okay, so we have this window open. So it should allow us into the weapons folder now. It doesn't allow you into folders that are inside VPKs, and if everything inside that folder is in the VPK, for some reason, it just like blocks you. I don't know. I guess Valve like figured out a way to make people like slave labor making models. Oh wait, that's what I'm doing. Whoops. Okay. So this model viewer thing is like old. No, I'm kidding. So this is the original model we decompiled. Its features are a texture on this hand, so it's got two textures, the weapon texture and the hand texture. I mean, I know everybody loves this classical information, but some people don't know. Yeah, the other part of it is they cut all this off, which made it suck here because you can't have a good quality model ripped out of the Viewmodel. I don't know why they did that. They saved a few video cards from frying on old computers just so they could have this run. So it has all these animations. We can't copy their animations because we didn't use their rig, but you can see how it plays sounds. There's sound events. That's cool how they made that. They have a little pusher thing here. Okay. Because you see it from different angles, all of a sudden you think it's new. Vent poses. Yeah, I guess that's the vent animation. So let's look at the vent animation. Let's make it idle. Idle to lower. No, just low idle. Yeah, low idle. It just means like idle lowly. Because we kind of are replicating this weapons behavior here today. And what we want, I think we want to be in Viewmodel mode. Zoom out a little bit. Oh, this is terrible view. Like, why would they do this? Okay, we have to rotate a little. And this vent animation thing, what is it? Oh, yeah, so that opens that. There's like a little vent animation. It opens up the little door right there. This is what the vent animation is they made. That's kind of cool though. I never knew that. Okay. Physics isn't really you need to worry about in view models. Attachments. Okay, so the muzzle attachment is like there. So they actually spawn the muzzle inside the weapon, so like it looks cooler because you could actually see where it's at. So they had to kind of adjust that, I believe, or something. I don't know how many years ago. And it says stuff on the side of the weapon here too. I don't know what it says. I never knew that it said V. Whatever that says. UA blah blah blah. V952 F&G OG Inc. On hey. Okay. Kind of funny, stretched out texturing job here because this is kind of crooked. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. Why? Because when you look at it from this angle, it looks fine. It actually looks better that way. Okay. So, after looking at our reference QC, we were actually not looking at like the topology of this model more as we were looking at how it's programmed. We were looking at the programming behind it, how the materials are on it, how the animations work, how the layout is, or so, I mean, how many animations, what they are, and like kind of how they function. Because we loaded another model viewer. Our model is really not that similar to this one. In a sense, it's like a grenade launcher, but this one is also kind of like a grenade launcher because it has the combine ball spawn thing. It creates a combine ball that goes around, it bounces around, and destroys everything. That used to be like a really nice feature in Half-Life 2. It's like, oh, I got the combine ball. Okay, time to kill 10 people. Just launch this thing inside a room full of people. The thing was funny. Okay. So we load our model weapon. And it disappears. Let's go to Viewmodel mode. Okay, good. You can see it in Viewmodel mode. That's our only animation. So we need to make a idle animation, I guess. I know, the model looks awesome. It's like the most awesomest model in the awesomest history of awesomeness. Okay, so then we have to like add a material maybe. Okay, let's do an idle animation first, and then I'll mess with the materials. All these people in Half-Life 2 chat, Source chat, like talking about how cool you could like make a model look like by messing with the settings. You actually can make your models look really cool with the default shaders if you just mess with the VMT file and just inject a bunch of crazy shader parameters. So a lot of people don't really have to recompile their shaders. The vertex, unlit generic or whatever, it does a lot of this stuff for you. Okay, so delete the cube, import the file, the reference file we're working on. We could even import the one that's inside our new project folder just to be like consistent there. Okay, and then opener, and then the GH random ASCII character that doesn't exist. Okay, and then take the bones. I think we have to select this. No, we just start animating right out of the box. We can just do idle animation. So we press the bones, go to pose mode, select everything. We have 4 things selected, I guess, and then press K. Burn it into the model, burn it into the scene. Go to 10, just like move it and rotate it a little. And we want to move weapon bone. Move it. I don't want to rotate it like that. I want to rotate it by Y. And then I want to rotate it by Z. Just a little. And then press K. Go to 20. Do the same thing. And then on our last frame, we will just copy paste. So R, G, K, and R, I moved to frame 40. G, K, location, scale, and custom properties. R, G, K. Okay, we got frame 50, and then we'll reset it at 60K. Make 50 work. And then we take 0, hit copy, paste it onto frame 60 so it like blends. Alright, so that'll be our idle animation. Now let's go into the properties of animation. Go subtree animation and name this. It's called Grenade Launcher Direct Reference Final Skeleton Action right now. So I think last time we imported something and it was called idle something. It was called idle stopped. That's idle 01 stopped last time. We will name this idle. We just want it to be named idle. And there's the name of our idle. Like you could do that. You could prefix your weapon into the animation name so you kind of know what they are. So that way you don't try to mix them later with other weapons. You can name it our GL underscore. But GL stands for a lot of things, not just grenade launcher. It stands for graphics library and good love and I don't know, good luck. Yeah, there's abbreviations have a pitfall. I keep running into them or something. All right, so let's save this first before we export it, and that way we can copy paste this, and we'll name this HLMP grenade launcher underscore idle. Save as, but notice how we don't have like a reference. It's bad that we don't have a reference.blend file, but we could just always import reference. I could import reference and just save it, and that'll be my reference blender file. I could save 2 megabytes or maybe half a megabyte of disk space by not making that file. Okay, let's export this, see how this looks like. We should just export idle. I don't know why I exported both. It's just like I'm rewriting on the drive, which is bad because this file was like open right here, and all I did was just for no reason. Okay, so let's rename this idle. Make sure we get the animations folder right. Uncomment this. That's why I didn't just throw this away. I knew that I was going to come back, and I wanted to put it here, so I wanted to kind of already be in. Save it. Go to crowbar, hit compile, watch it spam all this text. It's beautiful. It rains errors of tangents of vertices and bone changes totals, and strips groups of model LEDs. All right, so it generated the optimized mesh. Maybe the camera is working by now. It takes like Camo Studio like a little while to sink in. Nope, still stupid. Oh, this is just firing. It's just going crazy. Okay, let's refresh this. All right, cool. IR idle. Let's go to Viewmodel mode. Our idle sucks. Yeah, like why is the holster way over there? And so I got that wrong. I screwed that idle up. It's not in the right place. So we're gonna have to be forced to fix that because like when it idles, it won't be in the right place. We could already tell. So it's kind of good that this happened. Okay, how do we fix this? The easy way, since the reference is here, we know the reference is in the wrong place, right? Is if we work off our folder, be to take the holster animation. So let's do it like this. Let's like say we're stupid, but we want to be like gain smartness as we're doing this. We're like, oh, I don't know what to do now. What if we import reference again like we were doing? But that's going to be screwed up because, but how do we move it with that reference? We could import the holster animation and cut the other frames out, then save it and do the thing that I didn't want to do. Saving space, because here, let's import our final reference again. Our reference is wrong place for whatever reason. Because I had it stopped at a different place when I was doing the other video. Like I got it, first you get it to where it shows up on the screen, like center with Viewmodel mode. That's like step number 1 after you've rigged the thing correctly. So there's like these key steps. And you'll also like learn that as you do this with different models and different setups. I mean, be like, yeah, like different bone setups. You still will have these key steps that you want to kind of follow. Like you want to texture per this before you do that. And yeah, like you can't like do texturing sometimes or some sort of modification after you've done something. You can a lot of times, but when you first rig it, you'll still have the keys. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to import on top of this. We have to have the weapon selected too. We'll import the holster animation since we already have it. We know the idle animation is wrong, so we can't use that. So we see that it moved it. Moved it like away to the right place, like down. Because some people, they'll like move the model up using the origin, $origin and QC file to program it to be a certain position. So what we want to do is we want to put this in pose mode. Select all bones. I selected 3 right there. Then select all this crap, I guess, and hit delete. I think I've just deleted. I selected all the keys in the animation view, and basically I deleted all the animations. So when I play it, there is, yeah, I guess when it wasn't playing because it wasn't keyed all the things. Anyway, that's another, I can explain what I just said. The other one wasn't playing because how it got keyed here. Kind of like keying the side of the car. It's making every frame of the animation different things, different positions precisely. All right, and it does that because since SMD file, that's how it looks like. It just like tells it, okay, this position's here, this position's here, and it tells that for the bone, not for every vertex. Okay, so we start at 0. At 10, let's do a little bit of R, a little bit of G. We don't even need a lot. K, move to 20. R, hit Y. G, move it a little. K, go to 30. R, Y, move it back. R, Z, move it a little forward. R, X, G, K, key it. 40, R, something, G, something, K, go to 50, then it's kind of like random work. R, Z, and then I'm gonna use K, and then we'll just copy paste 0. Can we use Control V and Control C? Yeah, we can. You can do it both ways. You can do it with the mouse and use Control V and Control C, and then save this as. We don't want to override that idle in case it's still open. We don't want to, and I think it is. Yeah, it's still open. We want to close this idle so we don't have to. All right, let's export this idle, and it'll be idle 2. We'll just export the animation. Hit cone, bubble, little dot. Export engine, source engine tools, hit SMD. Go to File, Save. File, Save As. Copy the path and Save As. Export that to the path. Export it. Export only. Why is it called hoster? Okay, we got to rename that. That's bad. And then we got to save it over again because we don't want this to be holster, so the next user, like yourself, will open file and then save over holster, destroy holster, and then wonder why this is happening. Okay, idle. Oh no, we just destroyed the old idle. It's okay though, because once we hit compile, it'll just like work. We've just overridden the old idle file, so we don't have to go in here. I was going to change this to idle 2. And the sequence name, we can actually rename these sequences instead of IR. I like to have the sequence name the same as the SMD name. I wanted to put GL there for a second, and you can. And you could have the other ones named GL. So it should be done here in a second. Okay. I think it's successfully compiled. Let's reload it. All right. So we got an idle animation. It's a little bit too much, actually. Too much movement. I think it should have been just a little bit of back and forth. And holster looks good, actually. All right, so let's work on the next one. Or should we import, well, since I have this idea of taking the holster and reversing it real quick. Let's reverse holster. Let's just take the holster file. Should we open the holster file? No, let's just import it. Let's just work off the SMD like ghetto people. raw source maniacs. Just don't use Blender files, use SMD files. It would be nice to do some script, Blender script in this too. I'm take a break here after this animation. That should just like hammer the crap out of this weapon today. So let's import the reference first. Delete the cube. Import the holster. Let's look at our animation graph. It doesn't show anything because I don't have the bone selected. Once I have the bone selected in pose mode, it'll start showing up stuff. Okay, pose mode. Select some bones. Select all the bones. Alright, so here's what we have to do. From what it ends, we have to reverse this. How do we reverse it? Is there a command to do it? Keyframes, insert, duplicate, mirror, snap. Let's see. What I want to do, honestly, is go into Grok, go into the scripting tab, hit new, import BPY, even though Grok's going to tell me to import BPY anyway. Once I tell it, I want you to script me in Blender, Python, code in Python, please, to reverse the animations I have in pose mode bones. I don't know how I word that, but maybe he'll figure out what I'm trying to. Alright. Yeah, because he has to select the armature, the code has to select the armature, keyframes, bone name, pose bones, bone name, keyframe, key value, interpolation. I don't know what this is going to do, but let's see if we could use this hack. Let's just copy this, paste it. Look at the weapon while we run it. Have this all the bones selected like I do. Because if current toxic mode is not equal to pose, please enter pose mode. Okay, the scene, get the context of the scene, get the active object for the amateur. Amateur or not amateur, okay. If the amateur is not selected, bad things will happen. It'll say no. No bones selected if no bones are selected, and no action found if something action data is not there. And then it'll go through. I'm just seeing if it's trying to do this right. And it'll go through, remove, and keyframe, append. I'm guessing this create a recursive keyframe. Okay, so this thing at the end, it like collects it first, and then it clears it, and then it reinserts it. I think that's what it's trying to do here, but I could probably code this better, but at least I have a base to work off now. Okay, let's just run this. Alright, something went wrong. Error, fpose, pbones, root, dot location, something went wrong. We fucked it up. Let's see what happened. Did it delete everything? Yeah. So that's okay. It's not okay, but it is okay. Because what the idea I got now, just undo. Okay, so we could take the 60, put it to 70, take 50, take 50, damn it. Put it on 80. This is just a faster, no, fuck. Copy paste 40 onto 90, copy paste 30 onto 100, and then copy paste 20 onto 110, and then copy paste 10 onto 120, and copy paste 0 onto 130, right? Then wipe out 0 through 60, cut, Control X, select 0, no, just drag 70 onto 0, then drag 80 onto 10, drag 90 onto 20, and drag 100 onto 30, drag 110 onto 40, because those were our main keyframes before. 50 onto, 120 onto 50, and 130 onto 60, then play it, and we have holster backwards. Okay, good. And this will be called, what is it, lower, or the other thing? What is this thing called? No, we should copy the other file. It will be called draw, sorry. Can't believe I forgot draw. And draw goes before holster, actually. So let's clean this up. And draw, AMS, activity, Viewmodel draw. Let's rename it in Blender. Armature. Let's save this as grenade launcher underscore draw. We have to save it again because I haven't renamed it inside the program. Animation, holster. It's not holster, it is draw now. Save that again. Save as to copy path. Go into the cone thing. Export SMD. Export, hit export, and only export draw. Compile the model. So we got draw done. Now there's reload. There's fire and then there's reload. We only really need 2 more. Low to idle, idle, low idle, shake, event poses, yeah. Fire. So the sequences will sort of play randomly according to the activity because it calls it through the activity. You could also call it through the sequence. You can call it in both ways in the code. So here it is called primary attack. So it'd be nice to get all the fires to work because then you could like do this cool fire thing. How come there's 2 fires? There's a fire here, secondary attack. Oh, secondary attack. That's because it has different activity. One is a fire that uses fire 2 for secondary attack, and one's a fire that uses fire 2 for act VM recoil. So it's recycling the animation twice for different things. So the file actually has less, uses less storage this way because it's programmed like that. But the code plays different events based on to that activity. So like fire for secondary attack will muzzle flash a different muzzle flash and have a few different sequence events things. Okay. The problem with fire, let's look at the other model to get inspiration. What does fire look like? Okay, fire looks like that. There's a thing in there. There's a bone that's moving that we don't even have. Damn it. This is an inspirational thing to do. We would have to re-rig everything to do this, to do it like that. Which is, yeah, an inspiration. Okay, let's see what we can do. We would have to start with a different start. So let's open a new Blender again. import the reference. And we're going to have to do this fix again, too. It's ridiculous. But whatever. Who cares? What we have to do is just save one. I think I did. I don't know. Did I? No. Let's save a reference of stopped. Import. Draw holster. Yeah, we need holster. We need to select the weapon when we import it. I didn't. It messed up. Okay. Now what we need to do is create an idle one. Select pose. Select bones. Go to pose mode. Select all bones. Wipe out all the other animations. Rename to animation to stopped. There's some other name they use. Ref, I think, is the other one. Save as grenade launcher stopped. Because we want to be able to just load this now. Save as. Dump out the animation too, just for backup. I will just double save as this. Just hit this plus sign and make a stop too. Oh, the plus sign doesn't work because there's no extension. If there was a 1, it would just increment it. Okay, so next time. Okay, so we need fire now. So let's save this as fire so we don't override stop 2. It's like fire 1. I don't know. And then we'll just select weapon bone, hit G, move it back. Then, that was a mistake, so I'll just move it to frame 10. We want to move it by its normal. I don't know if that's going to work. Does that work? Okay, global. What if we do normal? What if we don't move it? Okay, it's there. What if we put -5? Okay, so let's do it like that. Press K. It'll move quickly and then it'll slowly return, right? So we'll use G. Oh yeah, it's moving the frame, not the bone. Make sure you're on the screen. G. Put normal 0, 0, -5? +5? Why isn't it moving? Oh. Piece of crap. Fuck. Press K. Copy, paste, 0 frame to 40, I guess. See what happens. What are we going to do with 50 here? Copy, paste 0 to 60. So how does it look like? Did something weird. I think we need to get rid of 50. Or at least get it close to. Now let's delete 50. Stop it on 50. Just like rotate it a little bit on 50, press K, give it some uniqueness. Alright, that'll be our fire animation. We'll test it. Fire animation also has its unique like back thing. Okay. Rename animation to fire. I'm going to rename this to actually not fire, but fire 01, because usually you'll have more than one. Export fire 01. Let's compile it in, because we really need to look at this. Oh, theirs is not fire 01, but fire 2. Yeah, it's seen different naming conventions. We'll name this fire as fire. And then the SND is actually fire01. Compile this. We'll keep the muzzle flash on there for now, but you could remove it. Actually can take it and change the material of that muzzle flash and then rename it and add another one. That'll be a good mod. Kind of stupid rotation, but it's kind of slow. Let's look at the other one. It looks like fast. Like, look at the frame rate. How many frames does it have? 1x times 30 frames, 30 frames per second. Let's put our frame rate to like 60. I think it's not a good idea to change it like that. It's better to do it in Blender. Like compress it in Blender, just like instead of using 60, use 30. And instead of 5, put it on 10, frame 10. But whatever, let's just increase the frame rate and just see how it looks like first. Alright, after fire, in order to be kind of thorough, there's shake. I guess shake is for act fidget. It's one like there's an earthquake. Some stupid event in game. Okay, idle, fire, shake. What are we missing? Reload. Alright. Let's just put this like this. Get it ready for reload. Let's load up our stopped file. That way we could do this a little faster. First off, rename stop to reload. Also rename it in the scene collection tab. How would reload look like on this weapon without having the bone for a clip? Even though there is no clip, really. Select the main bone. Let's go to frame 10. Rotate it. Rotate it by X. K. On 20. Bring it closer to player. Rotate it by Y. No. Rotate by Z. K. Damn it. Okay. Rotate like that. Bring it a little closer. K. $40. Rotate it kind of all the way so you can see this thing. And then K on 50. I don't know, put it 45. 45. 45. Rotate it Y. Like that. K. And 54. R. RX. RY. R is, oops. Damn it. They put it into like wireframe mode. That'll look kind of cool. RZ. Rotate it back to the way it was. Hit K. I hope it didn't mess up the rotation matrix or something. We'll see here in a second. was like way too fast for this anyway. It did. Yeah, you would have to like make the player remove. Oh well. Okay. Let's just try that out. I just want to see how that would look like. Alright, save. Export. Oh no. Save as, copy the path, export. Export, reload. Okay, so we should have reload already in our QC file, right? Prep that. Save it. Compile it. And claw. This is like the minimal. So you could go into more, do the materials and do the more fire animations. I'll do that later. Just to make this shorter. And for people to be able to like... It's better to just get that done in one day and then come back another time, like after a break, and get the other part done. You could do it all at once, but it's all Pizza's fault. Reload. All right, cool. And you could change the sound. You could change it to other sounds. If you call event EA client, AE underscore CL underscore play sound. 1 means play that sound on frame 1. And then, in quotes, the script file definition, which is weapon underscore AR2 reload rotate. And then event AAC play on frame 19 will play reload push. And you could put more in there. It'll just call them at that frame.